Tenemos perro. Era um gosto. Give that people.
Remove the paper.
Officers, if you can help me, or have you pushed some of these talents to play in the other leagues in the country? Thank you so much.
Alur, MTN Uganda. I'm called Walenga Sports, Radio by the Sports. My question number one is about
anybody willing to pray for us, you're most welcome. Thank you.
It's opportunity to thank first of all our sponsors, MTN Uganda, for having been with us for the last 7 years into Kopu, but particularly actively in the last 6 years that we see great football in terms of youth development into sports. One thing about this football is uniqueness. It marks a very important historical time in Alur history, where we celebrate the coronation anniversary of His Royal Majesty, who will be King III, who is the King of Alur. And for us to continuously look at this as a way of celebrating, we do build-ups, we do things that are big for purposes of bringing our unity to a purpose. And I think as a Alur Kingdom, we are being tasked by our subjects through the king to give it a vibrant look, and especially engaging the youth. And the choice of football, bicycle race, netball are some of the ways the king envisioned that the youth be engaged, to understanding our cultural values, norms, and what we cherish most, that is coexistence in our community. This year, tracing back from the champion we've been looking at, everything that has been team has been achieved the purpose. During the COVID pandemic in 2020 was one of our toughest times. And through that tough time, we kept on wondering how do we still remain hopeful that life will change. And I remember we opted to still motivate our people, the young ones especially, through the act of telling them that they should observe social distance, they should do things that should make them be alive. And I'm very glad that through that very tough time, MTN was there with us to encourage the youth people. And I think that was a defining moment of our partnership. And I thought it was a bold statement, because we were all searching for ways of how to remain healthy and how to remain vibrant. And that's what the year when I really felt the connection between MTN and the local people was really felt. Because we used sports, but in sports not in playing the game, but to educate people. So I remember one of the key things was we were telling people, don't go and play football now because you will not be having social distance. But we promise them once this is done, shall be having football. And I'm glad they listened to us. And what were we doing? We are also trying to promote social distance. And you can see that's the tough message to package. And I thought the packaging was well done. And the process, one of the things that helped us was, did it create an impact? Yes, it did. I think the greatest impact was that we're able to have a generation of people saved from the dangerous pandemic of that time, the COVID-19 that hit the world at large. And I want to also say that being the 8th edition means we have been having champions for the last 7 years. I'm glad that last year we had it in Pakwach. And one of the greatest things we are doing was we're celebrating, but also still advocating for a society where our girls remain girls. Child mothers is a no-go zone. And even parenting was very key in our advocacy last year. And I thought championing that with MTN gave us mileage in terms of gathering these people together, having them in sports. I thought one of the most emotional was the bicycle race, where we had a woman who won and the daughter also won. So two members of the family won, and the daughter was a child mother. So compacting such a message and using such type of events to send key message of behavior change helps us a lot, not just the sports alone. We're also sending messages. So for purpose of reintroducing this year's theme, we thought finalizing on the theme. As you can see, we are still looking at empowering girls and eliminating child pregnancies and child violence in our land. And I think for that cause, sport as a pillar of unity for the youth takes us a long way. And with the great brand of MTN that looks at that point of human need, I think makes us go on the similar path, and the journey to achieve what we intend to achieve together will really be the bottom line of our history, of our story to tell. Because this is a story that starts from a very difficult time, and today, if you look at us, we are yet also celebrating the good times of coming to and using sports. I want to thank everybody, but particularly, I want to use this time to thank MTN. It's not easy to have a partnership stuck together for all these years. That means we value them, they value us, and it is a win-win scenario for what we all try to achieve. But the other important aspect is it's not just we are together. It goes back to the great slogan of MTN I enjoyed lately. I really enjoyed it lately. And we're one day chatting with the king and we're all enjoying it. That together we're unstoppable. So I thought even together, Alur and MTN is really unstoppable. I even feel that niche. I even feel that I don't know who can stop Alur and MTN partnership, because we are uniting and championing a very important cause of engaging the youth. We have become the behavior change agents. And sports is at the pillar of this competition strategy. And the sport we have chosen is what brings all the girls, the boys, the mothers, the fathers, the uncles are all joining into sports. We have chosen bicycle race and football. And this year I want to say, we have added a unique flavor. We are going to have the girls football. It's not under the sponsorship, but it's because the cry of the girls that football has become international global brand for men and women. Why are we segregating the girls? So what we have brought to the picture this year uniquely, the football is going to be both girls and boys. The bicycle is going to be both girls and boys, who are rather say male and female, for both the football and the bicycle race. Now that is a greater excitement I want to unveil to FDN. That is now the bonus we are going to enjoy for this year's tournament, and by that, particularly so, district or county, which as we try to do, will be the host for this year. I want to thank Donam in Pakwach for hosting last year, 7th edition was successful, and they won the champion. I can't wait to see who will be the champion this year with the opening launch, which will be between Congo, Alur in Congo, and Alur in Uganda. Last year, I supported Alur in Congo, very heartedly, but they lost. And I know this year, I'm likely to smile because I hear that Alur in Congo have come well prepared to face Alur in Uganda. So at 4 p.m., I'm sure we shall be thrilled to have yet another exciting match between the two people who are separated by the border, the national border, of the same people. You know, you're aware of the issue of Alur, that the biggest part of Alur are in Congo. about 8 million in Congo, and a few in Uganda. We are now growing almost a year 3 million all over. But according to census, we are 1 million 300 something. That's according to census. But those are called for everywhere. We are told we have about 3,000 Alurs in Uganda. So that means the bigger in Congo, they still recognizes the king who lives in Uganda. So what a unity we are going to express from here. With this say, I want to thank everybody, and I can't wait to see yet another milestone with the 8th edition of Kopu and the 4th edition of Vice Police. Thank you.
And the Kopu, as we bring the theme of this year's tournament, which is promoting positive parenting and ending teenage pregnancy and early marriages. Just as the idiot said, together we are unstoppable. I believe that together we can bring the theme to life. So as MTN, with our 5th support for the Kopu Cup, this time we shall have the football matches and also the bicycle races. So something exciting that MTN is bringing. Every man of the match will be getting a Kapode phone, that is a smartphone from MTN, and also during halftime. That's for all the matches. During half times, there will also be some drills between the fans. Maybe could be in terms of questions. Ask them how they're going to support this team, and we'll also be giving a smartphone to the fan. That is in every match. The fan will go with the smartphone. Then the bicycle races between the different sex, that's the male and the female. We'll also be giving out smartphones to the different winners. So I want to thank the media for coming through, and also once again let me thank the Kingdom for the support, and thank everyone for supporting MTN. I encourage us to keep supporting MTN. Thank you very much.
Our cultural values and norms. These all cultural values and norms should be positive ones. So I've seen a lot of pronouncement dropping all cultural practices, which is a very rare gesture of humanity. Because in the sports, we have gone against the odds of involving girls to play football. And if some of you look at Alur, a girl was supposed to play football. And because of uniqueness and trend, he says this is not a global demand. Superstars internationally play for the team among the girls will come out of this football. So why do you not give them a chance to expose their talents? Uganda government has the she craze, right? So we think making culture become culture in development is a very good trend. Culture cannot be static, but cannot be lost. We can root ourselves in culture, but the positive culture and culture that makes us develop with a global trend. So our rooting really is to be relevant. And I think that's where I want to recognize the relevance of our culture. That now brings the ladies and the men to the compete for football, bicycle, and I am taught very high demands for netball is coming. All these demands coming from foreign. They say, why are you looking at netball? And all these are coming to us. So as MTN goes back, the demand for what we are doing is growing. And we are going to continue to see what else we can do differently to address this. Yes, we cannot do everything, but we are going to pick up on the most important demands that brings unity to use as a vehicle for communication. I want to invite one person who I've been working to very closely with through you, that we did make one important communication in terms of introducing ourselves. Purposely, the first we wanted to speak, then said, who are the people speaking? I am Principal Chairman Nixon, the Deputy Prime Minister, and also the Secretary in charge of development, scholarship, events, and communication. I think my purpose here is, with the group of people and 10 people are from the DFA. I think MTN, our partner, should need to know that we have got professional. The district football association of Zobo, Navy, Pakwai are involved in organizing this tournament. It's the CS course are involved. The district sports officers are involved, DSOs are involved. The coaches of key clubs are involved. And the greatest are the sports anchors on each radio station and journalists are involved. While we do this, we're trying to make it a holistic formation where synergies share so that we also play professional. Right? If next to you is the DFA of Zobo, Mr. Victor Francis of Navy, DFA of Navy, Francis Victor. He's also a teacher in the profession but involved in football. And he brings a lot of expertise to how to organize this tournament. We have got the sports officer, Navy District is here, and then the sports officer of Zongo, DFA, Zongo, and Pakwati, they are still on the way due to transport. They are on the way planning. Where I was saying that it is important to involve these people. We want to organize this football at professional level. That it should also be able to stand to FUFA and FIFA regulations. That's how far we have stepped with it. Kopu name. And we decided to name it, give it a special brand name. It's the MTN Kopu with the different editions. So we no longer call it Kopu we call it MTN Kopu 8th edition. Why? Tagging our marriage, our partnership with the brand together to show that the marriage is so solid that it goes with the name. I want to thank you very much. And please, before we open up the Q&As, I'd like to also to give a chance to our MTN partner who is right here on the ground, Philip, that just give us a flashback of the experience.
The regional commercial head, but we work as very big teams, and right next to me is Godwin Taban, is our territory manager for what we call Navy territory. Navy territory is the equivalent of the Alur kingdom in terms of the coverage area. And we had Byron is in charge of our marketing for the north. He replaces, we had a Muzungu before, and so I'm sure when Honorable saw him early in the morning, that's where the Muzungu was, but we now have the son of the soil as well, Byron Malimoto, who's in charge of our marketing for the north. We are very happy to be here, and through you, Honorable, would like to pass our gratitude to the King, His Royal Majesty Philip III, for allowing us to participate and partner with the Kingdom of Alur. For now, into the 6th year, we are doing this. Personally, it's out of the 6 years, 4 of which have been through these activities, the coronations, the football games that we did for 2 years, and then one day someone said, but we're going to consider bicycles. And for the last 2 years, we've actually done the bicycle races as well, and they've been very interesting to see. Initially, we started with only the males, and towards the finals, I remember of 2023, ladies appeared, a team of ladies appeared, who were actually in Pakwach, appeared and said, no, for us we can challenge these men. Unfortunately, we hadn't provided for a category for the women. And we had to quickly make some changes to allow the ladies race ahead, then the men come in after 30 minutes. And to be honest, it was heavily competitive. So last year, with the guidance of the Kingdom, we were able to separate the 2 races. So we had a proper race for the ladies and a proper race for the gentlemen. And to be honest, if we were comparing the time that they would take between the men and the women, the gap was just a few minutes only. So we realized that the sport of cycling is very productive, and it resonates with the people within the Alur Kingdom, but also to thank the football that we are doing through the DFAs that have continued to support us from way back. It has not been easy, but we have continued to perfect it. Because I remember way back when we started, the problem of venues was the biggest challenge. Getting a proper soccer field to actually have a decent game. But with their help and their technical support, the grounds are prepared in time, the grounds are identified, the grounds are near for the fans in there. And that's why this year, for the first time, we are introducing a category for the fans. And through the media, we ask that that message goes out loud. As you may know, with the national team, Uganda Cranes, we have a team of fans that MTN facilitates. So we are hoping through the engagements that are happening on the ground for the Kopu people this time around, we should be able to identify the biggest fan of football in Alur. Because Honorable will tell us if he does, there's something big coming regarding the kingdoms. So when that time comes, we want to be sure when the Alur kingdom is going to represent at the national stage, there is a strong team, but there is also a strong fan or group of fans. So this time around, for each of the games, there will be a fan that will be awarded. For now, the fans we're only giving them a smartphone, but towards the finals, the adjustments will be made. But remember, the smartphones have now come in as an addition. The cash prizes are still there. The media team that you may forget. I know Richard and Alfred have been around us for a while, but there's still the cash prizes. The bicycle races, last year we gave up to 5 million for the finals. And the biggest team also took the same amount in terms of cash. And at each stage there was actually cash available. So we continue to improve, and we hope that in the wisdom of the King, the message for us to be able to reduce teenage pregnancy and early childhood marriages through positive parenting should be through sports. So all the sports activities that are available, but also inclusive for as many people as possible, MTN will continue to support, and we shall continue to listen and work with the kingdom, because over the years we have been with them, we've seen so much recommendations in things we need to do. That beyond these activities we are doing, what about your corporate social responsibility? That was a question that was given to us about 3 years ago, and I must say this year started in very high action for us to actually fulfill the commitment we had made, or the promises we had made toward corporate social responsibility. So this year, around June 12th, we were in Louis Health Center 3, where we were able to support the maternity refurbishment of the maternity wing of the health center. And it being a health center that is on the highway, and we all know the risks of the highway, our other partners, ATC, were able to provide solar power to the same facility, were able to add in additional equipment, were able to improve the water supply system. So it means brothers on that side of the John, basically, that was one of the health centers recommended. We have also an additional requirement within the Padiere area and Okoro as well, for where we are supposed to come in and extend corporate social responsibility as MTN. That was recommended by the kingdom, and of course we also verified that with the respective DHO offices, just to make sure that what the kingdom requires also matches what is within the government plan. So that at the end of the day, when MTN comes to support one project, it is also working with the government-private partnership to resolve some of those pressing needs within the community we are in. So in short, that has been our journey. We are looking forward to how better this can get. Honorable had already hinted on one of them, that with the sports games that are happening, we hope in the near future, the kingdom activities can also be a qualification stage for the clubs and the groups that are participating. Some of those are the future plans that we do have, and there's a lot of work that is going on in the background with the respective authorities, not only for soccer or football as it is, but also cycling, so that maybe as this partnership continues, just someone participating in a game in Paida gives them an opportunity for the big stage, whether at national level or international level. So those are our hopes, and we continue to work and build this relationship. That's why we always say, together we're unstoppable. Thank you all.
Of how we appreciate the participation and also the commitment towards the games. I think for the purpose of just opening the media, we still hold our prize money from 4 million shillings from the winner of football, 2 million, like that. So we normally give out up to the finals, the regional final between Padillo and now, up to 7.5 million shillings in prizes, cash prize by the way. Then we have got the newly introduced this year, the shift of football. We had a complaint that football is not going down the grassroots, not enough. And because we listened and because we synergized in our partner, we decided to have a unique way of doing this year. That's why I'm thanking the TFAs. We played the preliminary of the shift of football to determine those who come to represent the shifter. And it was particularly organized by the TFAs at their level. I would say at 95% sponsored by the TFAs. And what a partnership, even at local level. Now these preliminaries end up producing the 4 teams representing each shifter. For the shifter were playing among themselves to determine the 4 and open ground. And I would like to say that it is through this that the 4 chiefdoms are going to participate in the 3 different regions. The chiefdoms in Okoro are 4, they'll be playing on the 24th. And they're going to play among themselves to determine the champion of Okoro. So there is prize money. There's prize money. And you can imagine that the prize money just makes us look great. And I must say, in the prize money, that one thing that is very, very important is that the only consistent we have that people come to play for a reason of enjoying themselves and also go back happy. Okay. So you can see the chiefdom people, we're going to have a champion which is a chiefdom in Okoro. Then on the 26th, we are going to Junam. And Junam, we are going to play in Alur, where we did the CSR. And remember, our CSR with MTN was not based on choices of we like Alur or we like this part, but based on need. A lot of things we have discussed on why Alur had to benefit from the CSR in the health department. It became a very important intervention, and we are also hopeful the other regions will eventually one day get the same opportunity. And remember, health is critical in all this. So in Alur, we shall have the 4 chiefdoms playing. They already been selected, and I'm sure the journalists already have the list of these. I've had the radios. They're already echoing up on the 25th, which shall be in Alur. We have to be a market too. And I'm sure the excitement will also have a champion for July. Then on the 27th, we are coming to the municipality in Nebi, where we are going to have the chiefdom football played at Agog. Agog is right after the pool, and it is where we're also going to excel and get a champion. So you can see the expansion. We are now going to chiefdom champion. 3 chiefdoms are going to come. And today we are launching. We are going to have the Alur champion between Congo, Alur Uganda. So you can see the game is growing. And then finally, on the 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, we are having the regional football hosted here in Paita. It will be between Okoro, Padire, and Jonah. Just to determine now the overall champion. And prize money is there. What are we doing? We are trying to expand our reach up the grassroots, but using sports. And then we have the bicycle race for the 4th. It's going to be a book, and it's one big fight. All the categories. Why do we choose this? We recognize that the synergy in the bicycle race, the final, exposed a lot of things for us. There was share of talent between the 3 regions. So we decided to have this at the central level in Nebi, which is central to the 2 districts, and this should bring out all the bicycle racers into one ground. And we thought this is unique, where lots of prize money is going to flow. and in different categories. So you see what MTN is doing is just beyond just being a partner. It's communicating the brand right to the Muslim people. And I'm sure this cannot go unnoticed. This is where, when a brand is being talked about, it's because of the way the end has penetrated the mind of the people. I am sure when MTN will not be there, they will never ask the questions, answer the questions. One fan ever told us that for them, they know when they talk about Kopu, people, they say MTN. When they talk about bicycle, they say MTN. When they talk about coronation, they say MTN. That he has decided to now not anything he hears about Alur because MTN is there. So you can see that talk about nature has gone beyond what we talk on the table here. So with this said, I wish to remind ourselves that the media are very key in promoting these activities. We recognize what you are doing, particularly to name Western TV. There have always been one OT at one point or the other. They do the live broadcast, by the way, of our games. One time Western TV was broadcasting live the games. I also want to thank the radio station, Radio Paida, Rainbow, Aquach FM, Marina Maria, they're all here. And
Christ the King.
Christ the King. Why? These are, some of them are Christian radios and some of them are secular radios, but they all come into sports. The papers, there's Monitor, there's New Vision here. And then we're going to digital platforms. They are all here. That means our sport is covered in 360-degree media coverage. That's how big it is. We use a 360-degree coverage. And I want to thank you all the media. As we go into your Q&As, you can ask your questions. I have all the experts right here. I've got the MTN partner, I've got the Alur Kingdom, I've got the DSAs, I've got the DSOs. So I think whenever you ask your question, as journalists, one at a time, I'm sure the rightful answers will be coming from a group of panelists right here at the lunch time. I'd like to do this for about 10 minutes, then we wrap up the press conference. So you raise your hand, access of SIM cards, to swap SIM cards. If such opportunities come, why should you go back without swapping? Okay? There are those who want to register new SIM cards, why can they register today? There are those who want to buy subsidized phones. I'm sure that's it, right? Subsidized one, smartphone, these are subsidized. Then on top of that, I'm sure through that activation, they are giveaway also. People ask us for t-shirts or what. So media, when you go back on air, tell people to convert them before the truck goes to the field, that they have chances to win goodies. I'm saying this on behalf of the other activities other than the football itself. Thank you. DFA, shall we close?
To mention, I think I did not introduce my name. I did not introduce myself by names. I'm former Chance, Vice Chairperson of DFA. I started with right way back in 2018, up to date, still here in the office. So the achievement that we, as Papa DFA, we have achieved since the inception of DC Alur football, we have registered a number of players that have benefited from this arrangement. We had, they mentioned the name of Cromwell Ban, that's a player from our side there. As a DFA, you have to be one of the executive, the chairman of a very small club, Young Heroes. And in that club, I had a player called Oiro Talan. People are hearing about. Oiro Talan, the first game he played for us under 40 million was in 2019. Yeah. From there, when we came here to play under Alur, for him he decided to go and help Padea. Then for us, because we have so many players, we had to assemble the rest that we made. For them, they had to go to Padea to support Padea. But at that time, those who are here, I hope you can remember, as Binam, the team that we assembled gave Padea 3-0, and I hope we went for final, but at last we were second runner for that game. Now, from that time, people started knowing about him, Oiro Talan, because by that time we had just completed P7. Then later, this small school started calling him, but at last he went to school in Kampala, to Kiburi. After reaching schooling, then the other Amos College decided to pull him from Amos College. I hope we know where he is now. He's now playing for New England Revolution. So this is a player that came from my club. But now, because of long distance, we now have a small gap. Otherwise, among those ones also, I still have some too from the same club. But you know, football of nowadays, when you don't have anything, players keep looking for other things outside. So as I talk now, we are remaining with the young one. These ones, you see, youngsters, Super Eagles. So majority of the players in those big teams, they normally come from our small clubs here. So this is the benefit that we are getting from Alur and in partnership with M10 Uganda. Now, when it was announced that this time we are going to have another tournament, most of the players were coming to us. And if people are supposed to go by corruption, we are going to begin calling for money. Pay, we are going to register. But it's not okay. I'm a teacher by profession. This is what we cannot do. So we are saying we have been given a limit of 5, as we resolved yesterday, a limit of 5. So there were some players, those big players who were pressing that for us we want to go even by use of our means, we are going to raise by and say, no, this time we have only 5, you wait for another season. That is why we have come with the exact number of 5.
Marriage and child pregnancy. First of all, over the past 5 years, the marriage guideline. That is to protect against child marriages. So for a girl to be married, there's a past law, but not law, but pronouncement. The king pronounced in a written document which Alur developed, called the Alur customary guidelines. And it is very important because the customary guidelines, it is saying who and how can an Alur get married. Inside there are very protective, very strong, stringent protective things, ranging from the position of the father, community, and the place where it's going to take place. And so far, we have registered tremendous results. If you have ever seen a small child married, journalists, you are free to bring it to common. We have enjoyed that by spare our results of pronouncement. However, there is the other side of child pregnancy. We have done 2 sides of the story. One, anybody who gets a child pregnant is called defilement. There is no case, and it is held by the law. What as we do, we report these cases to the law, and we have done it successfully. We work with the magistrate, even including one of we work closely with them. But we report these cases because they are criminal, they are not in our line. However, our role as Alur is to draw up a plan of how do we integrate the 2 families. Because when a girl gets pregnant, there's conflict. As a cultural institution, we're supposed to harmonize the 2 families to coexist. One, to make sure they all ensure that the child is integrated into school going child. 2, supportive function for both sides of the family to give the psychological support is very key for this kid. And finally, the kid should not get married after delivery. The kid should go back to school. Parenting for the young kid comes from both sides, especially from the 2 mothers, that they ensure they help this young child to take care of the child also. You see, the problem of the 2 children involved. A child has given birth to a child. So you're taking care of 2 children. So culturally, we have been sound in terms of making sure there's harmony between the 2 families. And so far, I want to tell you, we have harmonized this in many ways to avoid conflicts after the child is not pregnant. While the law takes its course, we also are doing our part. Then the key reason why today Alur is coming very key in the CSR for the journalists is because the hotspot for these girls who get pregnant are in places where the market is. Alur is a market day. Yesterday was a market day. And you know the level of the young involvement. Cases that were reported to us that
about 7 children got pregnant in Alur. And they had problems of accessing medical care because Anal was very far, Pakwat was very far and full. Okay? So we said, okay, because it's a dry corridor with so many, where Alur is placed is that it's a dry area. So our choice was motivated that one of the actions was to help the child mother have access to health care. And I think one of the biggest results is the dormant facilities that were there because of lack of power. That's why this basic ATC came in to provide power. Now they're able to run those machines to do simple surgeries. I think that deserves a lot of applause. Because now we can handle minor surgeries for years that they were. And have gone ahead through our partners MTN to even create a new ward together for these child mothers. Actually, it's about to get completed, and I'm sure soon we're going to watch it. The final. So these are interventions to address the child mothers. It's not yet too much, but the little makes a very big difference. We are getting the bigger picture, and we're working together with local government. The Pakwat local government is fully involved to this. The Alur sub-county is fully involved. The school, the hospital management committee are fully involved. The chief of Alur as a cultural leader is fully involved. The elders are fully involved. If you only can see what Alur has turned up to today, it's an act of synergy, but mostly happened at the top in terms of facilitation by MTN and partners. Then there was the other part that I got here about statistics. Yes, right now, the current statistics is that Zobo ranks the highest for child pregnancy. Zobo as a district, that's for Kopu County. And this is because driven mostly by the low level of school and attendance by these kids. Most of them parents don't easily send kids to school in Zobo, which means it's a bigger problem. If parents are not sending kids to school, it becomes difficult to control. So our new intervention is, which the King has blessed us with, is we are now dwelling on parenting. The parents should be the first to send a kid to school. At chiefdom level, structures are being put together to make sure that every jago, every elder should see which family is not sending a kid to school. And so far as that's going to come in. The Navy has tremendously reduced the level of child marriages and pregnancies. But the best performing is Pakwat District Journal, the lowest. And I think that is because of more of their information at the time of interventions, depending on the type of people, how they live. You are aware in Alur land, the way Junam lives is different from the way Padilla lives and the way Okoro lives. You're all aware. And the type of strictness in Junam is completely different from strictness in Okoro in terms of parenting. You know it. Even, I can tell you, if you go and want to get a girl from Junam, this is interesting for you, by the way. In Okoro, the girl will start moving grass, peers and talking and then shying off. Padilla, they will look at you in the eyes and wonder what you are trying to bring up. But the Junam will say, look, and you tell me what you say. I mean, you've seen them in the tracks. They ask you, you are saying you want me, like what? That's a typical Junam language. And because of their type of character, they're able to stand and avoid some of these things. And you see the way of their lifestyle is being implicated into even Okoro. Speak up, guys. When someone comes to you, speak up, don't shy. When it is your parent neglecting you, going to school, speak up. Come and report these people. It is really happening at the cultural level. We're doing intervention, but I'm sure when you see the DSOs and the DEOs soon are going to be the next couple of people, because now we're going to also look at the next theme we propose the King about promoting education. We don't have to go, but we have to look at how do we involve the primary section and into also in activity to promote this type of things of school going. Because we are told that school children like going back to school with this type of I don't know. Is it true? And when it's time season for football, the enrollment is high. When the football and sports has gone low, the enrollment is low. Is that true? Because sports attracts them. So we're trying to ask ourselves that how do we make this sport attractive for 3 terms? So Keranu is saying, while they're doing the district football, this was technically secondary, we shall do our school, our cultural football with the school going to the third term, so they make the school to enjoy all the 3 terms. You see, it's a strategy. Finally, there's one thing that someone asked and I thought was good, how football has promoted positive culture. You see, positive culture is in us. We live with our culture. It's our DNA. The choice of a negative culture was way back in the traditional ways. Without living in the contemporary world, we have moved into the agencies, we are going to the alpha. Our actions should be into a new format that King gave us, culture and development. Let our culture speak for us. The new culture should speak for us in terms of parenting. We have gone back to education being in 2 folds. There's traditional and contemporary. Traditional is how we bring our kids from home. And that's the role of the cultural leaders, the elders, and the parents. But the contemporary is at school with the teachers and the government. So we are saying, can everyone play their role? And we're using this at our level as a cultural institution. And I'm thinking that because of this, we are driving it on equity. They used to say, send a girl to school for a short while, eventually marry her. We are saying, keep girls in school until they finish university. Girls are not marriage materials. They are not dowry materials. They are not wealth materials. They are just as good as the boy child. So that's why our uptake of girls have gone up. I can attest to this in schools, and more of the girls are being promoted. And even speaking in football, you can see the girls are playing football. Surprisingly, this is bringing them a certain of advocating for the same good livelihood and promoting positive culture. So for us as Alur, we are marrying all female and male, whatever intervention we are doing. And finally, for the sports people, this is very important that the bicycle race has got a category of both the local bicycle and the sports. But the sports bicycle were not taken up now. All the people participating with the last 3 editions of the bicycle, 3 editions I think, from 2022, have been, from 2022, 2023, 2024, has been using the local bicycle. Why do we do that? We recognize that these people who have the local bicycle use the same bicycle for transporting goods, for going where it's their mode of life. While the people who have sports bicycle is for pleasure and leisure, for going to town and So our promotion of this messaging embedded into the bicycle goes right into the households. That's why the bicycle who are riding are the local people in the grassroots who are in their home state. So whatever message they get during the tournament is taken down the grassroots. And the strategy we are upholding it for this year, but of course everything can be looked into. If the sports bicycle category will be coming, we shall have the category and look at it. But right now we are promoting the Hero, the Phoenix, the Barlows, the music, so that it is easy for everybody to participate. And you can see, we have some video footages, we shall play for you, the video shall give you, so that you see what happened. The bicycle. Okay, one of them has been going viral lately, and it was where we were with Philip and the rest, and flagging the bicycles. And the bicycles, the whole line of the bicycle were the local bicycle. Then one of the bicycles, as he was riding, the chain came off. He stood and pitched. Then one of the person was riding with the bar. When the bicycle got the bar, some problem, he first stopped to try to park with the bicycle. That's an excitement, right? He kept riding, and one of the ladies came with spanner, with everything. When she was riding somewhere, she first took and removed the spanner to adjust the what? This is excitement for sports, and I think this is some of the category we're going to do. We call those people breaking all the odds. I think we should think about breaking all the odds. So in the course of the race, we have identified who have broken the odds to make sure they at least reach the finishing line. And I think one man one day came carrying the bicycle. Do you remember? The finishing line. Because he was number 3, he saw he was going to lose the money. He picked the bicycle, put it here, and ran on foot to the finishing line. When he got to the finishing line, he started running the bicycle and passed. was number 3. That is breaking the odds. So our sport exciting. Let me give this chance to MTN. For MTN, take your answer. MTN, please. Okay, yes.
Thank you. So, to the media again, we appreciate the work you do. We had about 4 questions in there. One was around consideration for unique offers. And as MTN, we continue to innovate and create. So, we didn't get a particular name for what we give our customers in the north, but customers in the north are able to enjoy some better discounts. An example for you, the media fraternity here, I'm sure you can afford that 5,000 for your data. Occasionally, it may not be every day, but I think when you have a lot of work, you're the only ones in the country that will get 2.6 GB for internet. The rest of the country only gets 2 GB. So unfortunately, because of the naming issue we are trying to avoid, we are trying to make sure we can maintain a neutral naming for most of the offers, but when the customer dials their *165 *2 to buy bundles, they should be able to see the right offer that is discounted and unique to them in the north. Calling is also the same thing. Right now our calling rates are cheaper than even our competitor. Simply because now with our voice bundles, for 1,000 you get 60 minutes that enable you call across all networks. Previously, customers were only getting 40 minutes, 50 minutes, now it is 60 minutes. And when you break that down, it's almost a shilling per second. The other question was, of course, it has been responded to, the categories of the bicycles. Previously, we had tried this, but then we realized the participation. People that came with those sports bikes, one, they suffered a lot of mechanical challenges because the track itself is very long. It's about 21-kilometer race. So unfortunately, people with sports bikes do not go very far. But also in terms of affordability, we noticed that the traditional hero bike is what is popular here. But depending on the numbers, especially for the first few races, they'll inform if a category can be adjusted, and that is in plan in terms of with the administration of the games in there. There's a question around the sports personalities. This role, we are working on something for the role models from the activities we've done, not only for Alur but everywhere. So in a short time, we should be able to showcase the role models that are coming from most of these initiatives we are doing with the kingdoms. Since the beginning of the year, we have a theme around the cultural institutions we are working with, which is called Community at the Grassroots. And this will bring me to the last question, which was around what is unique with MTN participating in Alur as opposed to the other kingdoms. When you look at the theme of communities at the grassroots, by the absolute numbers, even if you look at the last 2 board statistics, the kingdom of Alur here gives us a very big opportunity in terms of a population to access. But also the leadership of the kingdom, we've been able to see a lot of proactive support in there. It has the highest youth population out of also the other kingdoms that we are participating in.
Raw as it is, unedited, I think it is very good. Our world has become very good in terms of digital experience. People now watch football on their phones, including Premier League. And our Kopu has grown in a brand that people watch on their phones even at the comfort of where they are, including those in Kampala. That's why we have made sure it is televised live on Western TV, so that even those who are not here are able to watch. Our part is not just for those who are in the stadium, but even those beyond. So this explains how the brand has evolved. It has become a household name for every other Alur. I want to use the opportunity to say thank you to Western TVs, particularly for regularly, even when finance are there, they come. They even broadcast Coronation Live, they do everything. They try to be so native. And for me, they go to MTN, for someone so native to us here, the media space, in terms of advertisement, can give it to them. Because when they see Western TV, the same audience you are targeting for other regions are watching Western TV. So we think the synergy of the radios is good. We love the fact that most radios are branded with MTN products. That's great. They're there. But we think you have to sit and look at broadcasts of all our live games. Top priority media house should be Western TV. Then the rest can broadcast. That is because it is native, it is fully available, it is always here, and will always be here, and you don't have to mention. You know what they do? They even commentate in Alur sometimes, most times. So for me, I'm proud of them because of their consistency for the last 3 years, and they have the full video footage, by the way. If you want the footage when they came right now, we shall say, Western TV, give us the footage. They'll give it to us for you to evaluate what happened. I have the footage of Matwatch is the best I ever watched. If I look at the aerial view and what they did, especially for viral, you know, a marketing tool is how you brand something small. But here, if you look at Kopu last year, it was the biggest Facebook regional. And because of Western TV. So my part is a call for you in the media space to consider what speaks dear to us as the Alur. I'm sure the same can happen to places like the Western. I'm sure if you are in Toro, you choose TV West because of the 4 hours, right? If you're Bukanda, you'll be looking at the NBS, you'll be looking at the Sanyuka, right? Sanyuka because of Bukanda. You look at Bukede, TV, you'll be looking at the so the choices should be native. But I also want to appreciate another media house which is not here. For whatever they do, NBS, they come here. And I'm sure this year is going to be there also, I'm very sure. Now for us, this media house, like New Vision, they had one more TV coming here. I think they also broadcast the coronation advisory. And New Vision very provides and monitor. They provide for a special pull-out for when the director is told about us. What else can we ask for them to say thank you? Because whatever we do, when some we enter the media space, it gives an additional information and flow and information. We can't do things and keep it under the table at our level. The media escalates the messaging. That's why I wanted to whine and say thank you both broadcast, print, social media, even now to make it better. The fan you're looking for, the best fan base in Uganda is in Alur land. The reason why the FIFA Big League will have the best outcome this year is because Alur land has produced 2 teams in the Big League. In the name of Central and by the Black Angels. And the first game they are going to play is a derby between Paida and Central. If you want to come and see Taban, if you want to come and see the because you will see what it means, what football means to the Alur people. They are passionate. If you want to call football in any part of Uganda, and even the football president, I'm sure, knows it. They know it. When it comes to West Nile especially, you know even the football drum, when it is West Nile, they even go using trailers to what? And now this year, we're going to Kopu. Wait and see the football drum in Kopu. You see how many trailers, all the trailers are here. When they're going back, they go and use it. Go and drop us and come back footing, they'll be in Kopu. That's how football in West Nile is working. So your choice of football, soon, I'm not advertising for them, or campaign, should go out into looking at our regional footballers. When you look at the Vipers, we're looking at the Wolves and the KCCA, the biggest KCCA and Vipers of football in Uganda are in the northern region in terms of fan base. Even the fan base is not careful. When we go to the other strategy you were talking about, Don't be around, don't be surprised that Alur will have the best representative fan base for the Kerala representative in the tournament. And that's why, again, I have talked in a very nice way that I saw when they are giving football matches to the cultural institutions, they gave others, even say, hey, God, what God? Here they bashed us into West Nile. But West Nile has got one cultural institution gazetted called Alur. So why do you batch us into all? We should have had two teams. We should have had Alur and West Nile. Reason being that in Kampala there's Buganda and Kampala. Which cultural institution is Kampala? You get it? So some of these things should go into aligning with strategy and the communication channel. So for us here, they are here. People say we have never talked. Today I have talked. And I've always talked. I've said don't punch us in everything. We have a special position called Alur, right? So Alur in the football drum should be called Alur. Then the other tribes also should be there to represent West Nile. Take this to Molingwa. Take this to our dear CEO. I know she's very good friends in the brand. I know MJ is the flagship brand for Uganda Cranes, okay? Say, I think it's a big mistake. So out of the 16 teams, number 17 be Alur. Let them see how the fixture works. They should put a picture. We are happy to be West Nile, but also happy to be Alur as a gazetted cultural institution. It's unfair when we sit our president for you, West Nile. So I'm saying this because I thought football has gone a long way in Alur now, okay? And so the national team has got, even our captain for Uganda Cranes at the charm, the captain was in Alur, right? Yes. Okay? And he's got a very critical goal, right? And I'm happy Lango had Alan, is it? Okay? And Lango is still there in the league. But Alur. Yeah. We covered Bakwat, Nebiso, and Congo. By the way, if you're not careful, for us here, the Congolese also have this thing. Most of them have got their white here. So much as they're Congolese, they go there to dig the camp and stay here. They're Ugandans. So it means our team might be the very strongest related team to represent. And don't be surprised that the trophy of Fodram will come to Uganda next week. Thank you so much, members. This was just another way around. Let's be ready to go and enjoy the media team. We'd like to cover the read track, give you an exciting moment, give our MD team the best of by the experience in video coverage, okay? And then the storyline and everything should be about how we are all working together to give the Alur people the best likelihood possible, holistic. And at 4 p.m., I know Western TV, I'm seeing them there around. At 4 p.m., they will know they'll be there. I know some people need to be watching us digitally. You can also tell on your media houses already, right? They can, if they're not here physically, they can tune, including those players that remain, they will tune. And the final will be given a very big boost, like you said. How do you talk about activation, right? Halftime. Halftime is what you should tell for goodies. So halftime will not be people just talking. It's the beginning of the games. So when you shoot up football in a group, you imagine halftime now is to win things. I want to imagine. Then on Wednesday, next week, we're going to have activation winning. These are good things to give the blend the football games. And I'm hopeful that I was whispering to my brother Byron here. I said, and I'm saying it loud, that next year, our strategy is, with so many people come and ride bicycles here, they come with very solid bicycles, and they still love their bicycles as a mode of transport. That while we have participants, also with bicycles branded. I was just talking to him, and he said, for next year, we're trying to use it. Why? Because the bicycle goes way to become a source of income.
DFM. So, and Daisy, she's also here with us. So we are really grateful for us coming.
Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, let me assume that you can now take other photos.